2, 1, 2.
Episode 11.
11. Whoop whoop, man.
11.
All right. We passed that 10th, huh?
Yeah,
What's
we
up,
made
guys?
it past 10.
So how are you doing today? Looking all nice over there.
I'm doing good. Matter of fact, I got this whole fit from Shein.
Man.
Had a whole fit from Shein. So shout out Shein.
Shein. No, lie,
And
guys.
it's not Sheen.
I know, it's Shein.
It's Shein. Some people out here calling it Sheen.
I mean, that's what I was calling it.
No,
I didn't know.
It's Shein.
No lie, guys. Like, he's been shopping on Shein.
No, that's not true. I
Yes.
only got a few things.
A few things.
Yeah, only a few things. Like dipping my big toe in the water.
I don't know, man.
That's it.
I don't know. I feel like you've been shopping.
Now
it has
TikTok shop.
There you go.
Man, they
Yeah.
be taking all my money.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
TikTok shop be taking all my money. I don't.
No lie.
TikTok shop is something else. But you know what?
What?
Since it's about to be no more, I guess. I guess I'm gonna have
Before
to
they
find
ban
something
it,
else.
man, I better get that. What is that? Hair?
Yeah.
The blow dryer before they take all that.
I know.
Man, that's crazy. I get my wigs there. Oh wow.
I'm sure you'll find somewhere else to get it from because I'm pretty sure the company you get it from, they're based in the U.S.
They are. They're in Texas.
Yeah, so
Oh well.
sure you can.
But anyways, you look nice.
Oh, thank you.
Where are you going?
You can thank Shein.
Where are you taking me today?
Well, where you want to go? I got this whole fit. Where
Right?
you trying to go?
Where are you trying to take me, man?
Shoot, we can go out to dinner, movies. Is that like an old thing? Dinner and movies? What do people do nowadays?
I don't know. Do they even go out?
I know they don't go out no more, huh?
Do they even go socialize?
No.
Yeah, they do. We were in Old Town in Temecula, and last night, man, it was packed. Come on, it was packed.
Yeah, with older people.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
I
older
guess.
people.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, Temecula, that's money right there. So
But we just haven't gone out for a minute, so
yeah, that's true, huh?
we're back by 9, guys. You know what we were doing? Why are you smiling? Asleep, man. We were in the couch with our PJs. It's been a long week. I'm still trying to recuperate. Tired.
Yeah, I do want to say this though. Look at this thing of beauty.
Oh my god.
Thing of beauty.
He got his Korean. Is that the Korean coffee?
It's a mixture.
Okay. No, I mean, I'll give you props for that because it is very delicious.
Yeah,
So.
I mix it all up in there.
I like it. Good
Thank
job,
you.
man.
Thank you.
It's my second cup of coffee, guys. Well, probably like my 4th cup.
Don't say that. You're about to have tachycardia.
This is more than a cup. Come on.
It was filled with ice though.
Oh, well, yeah.
So anyway, today's topic, what are we talking about?
Tradwives.
Tradwives.
Tradwives. So that's been like the hot topic out there. Well, that I've seen, right? That I've seen.
Hey, so can I tell you something though?
Tell me.
So I don't know why I thought it was triad wives.
Why?
I don't know. So it's been popping up on like my For You page and stuff, right? Over the past, like, I don't know, like month or so.
Right.
And I don't know, I thought it was triad wives, right?
Really?
So I'm over here like trying to research for today. I'm typing in triad wives. I must not be the only one because Tradwives did come up, right?
Right.
But it wasn't until literally today that I found out that Tradwives was short for traditional wives.
Itone Sams. Wait. There's no way. You were the one that sent me that video. You don't remember?
Yeah,
That I
but
asked you, what's
right,
a trad wife?
but I said it was a stay-at-home wife.
You did
I
say
didn't
that.
say it
Okay, yeah,
was
you're
a
right. Traditional
traditional wife.
wife. Yeah. So I had no idea, guys. Like when he sent me that video, it said trad wife, and I was like, "What is a trad wife?" I had no idea.
So what is a tradwife for some context, just in case they don't know?
So basically, a wife that stays home, doesn't work, and does the traditional duties: cleaning, cooking, making sure that the home is organized and ready for her husband. And if they have kids, obviously she's responsible for the kids as well. So on a side note, a trad wife doesn't necessarily have to be a mom. It could be
Like a trad dad? What do you mean?
what?
It don't have to be a. Oh, it doesn't have to be a mom.
Yeah, she doesn't have
Okay.
to be a mom. Like she could just say like, I want to stay home. I don't want to work. It just because like that's the misconception, right? Like,
Right.
oh well, you're gonna stay home with the kids. That. I mean, that's something that I learned, and
Right.
no, like you could say to your husband, I don't want to work. I will stay home.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So
So I do want to add to that though, because the way they're portrayed on social media is very like 1950s esque. So they're all like, a lot of them, they look like 1950s pinup models. They're in like 1950s style. Like what do you call that style? Like the greaser style, like the
right.
greaser dresses and things like that. I don't. It looks like if you were to turn on a sitcom from the 1950s.
Definitely
like,
not a greaser style.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Greasers were the rebels. So
Okay,
they had
well,
like the nice clothes, very slim skirts. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
yeah. So it's very like 1950s. And then the only other thing I do want to point out is
Yeah.
that a lot of them are unnecessarily shown like making bread from scratch, making pasta from scratch.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of a traditional wife. Like they're going to, and so okay, researching it, I basically concluded that these ladies who have a social media account, it is for obviously the views. It's obvious. So obviously they're going to dress up. They're going to have to do this whole persona, but at the same time, that I mean, if it's true, what they say, this is a lifestyle, and that's the argument. That's the argument. Like you have a lot of women saying like that's unrealistic, but then you have on the other side saying, why not? Like, why is it so wrong to be a traditional wife and do everything from scratch?
But
You know
my thing is it really necessary though?
what?
Do you really have to make bread and pasta? And a lot of them are like baking, I guess, which I think maybe baking like cakes and things like that. I think that's a little bit
Look, if you have nothing to do besides cooking and cleaning and being at home, no kids,
right.
you know what I mean? And then I've seen women who are tradwives with kids, but they're into like organic things. They're into being vegetarian or being vegan, and that's the whole account. But besides that, that's like extreme, right? That's like like the lady that did the Cheerios.
I don't know. Like for me,
Uh-huh.
I think making your entire meal from scratch, I think that's a little extreme. And not, I mean, maybe not like your entire meal, but things that don't necessarily need to be made from scratch.
But that's what I'm saying. Like there's different levels of being a traditional wife. So you don't necessarily have to make everything from scratch. This is from what I did my research on, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So there, like I said, depending on the page or whatever Tradwife you're seeing on social media, there's different kinds. Some do go shop, you know,
Okay.
but I do think that what's being portrayed on social media is, you know, buying organic fruits
Right.
and veggies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even I follow actually some, I wish I could remember, but I just started following her. She's a farmer. She's a farmer.
I think I saw that one.
And she does
like she gets all her food from her garden.
from her
right?
garden.
Yeah, I think I saw that one.
Even to the point like what she like the soap. She does her own soap. You know, I mean, but then you know she gets clowned because she's like, "Did you do your own flour as well?
Right. Yeah.
Did you do your own sugar?"
Right.
You know, so come on, like you don't. I mean, I get it.
I don't know.
get
I think they're taking it to the extreme, and for a lot of it, I think it's clickbait. To be honest with you.
So one of the girls that and I think that's the one that you're talking about. She's the blonde girl, dresses like the 1950s.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There's actually a black girl too, but go ahead.
So I actually saw her story. So she was actually in college. I think her profession, don't quote me guys, but I think she said she was studying to be a meteorologist. And on her second year, she met her now husband. And they, you know, before they got married, he told her, he's like, I do want a traditional wife, a homemaker, you know, to stay home and take care of household things. And she wanted that too.
Right.
So she didn't finish college. So she did get a lot of, you know, she said that she grew up also because they were asking her questions like, how did your family react? How did your friends react? You know, she said her family was supportive, and she comes from a family where women are bosses. You know, they own their own like businesses, but they respected each other. She said that she didn't feel like judged, but she, you know, a lot of people were like, "Are you sure? Like, you know, if this is what you want to do." And yeah, and some people did call, you know, like social media calls her like she's crazy. Like, why would you, you know, lose your independence? But she loved it. And that was a conversation that she had with her husband. And honestly, I don't care. Honestly, like if that makes her happy, if as long as you have that conversation, you know, in many ways, you know, having I don't know, I guess our lifestyle can probably help. I don't know. I always thought of it as I think because I'm a mom now, I always seen it like, okay, when the kids are finally here, I could see the benefits, right?
Right.
But I am being biased. And then I started thinking like, you know, that's how it was before. So what is so wrong with it? What is so wrong with it? Because why? Because we're not used to it now. You know, it's
what's wrong with it?
What's that?
Feminism. Feminism says
for sure.
Yeah, says that no, you shouldn't be doing that.
You're right.
That's exactly what it is.
You're right. You know, and I mean, feminism has changed over the years, and that's another topic we can talk about because, you know, some things Tony and I agree and some things we don't disagree, right? But yeah, in that aspect, I do agree with you. It has changed a lot, but I'm okay with it. You know what I mean?
From the videos that I've seen, how I just want to pick your brain a little bit. Like, how much of this is actually realistic when children are involved? Because it seems like a lot of them maybe don't have kids, and so they can take time to, you know, kind of make pasta and things like that from scratch.
I mean, honestly, you know, I think I only know
because you start getting like, you know, 2 and 3 kids involved. Well, you know, I feel like your time is dedicated to other things now.
Yeah. I mean, but it is a balance, and I will say this from experiencing both sides of it already, it is very overwhelming, but it's a different type of overwhelming. You know, not working and staying at home and solely like focusing on your child. You know, I don't know. I only follow one lady, but her page is very animated, very. I don't know. It's like too much for me. And she's a mom, you know, but she really like. I don't really follow her to the point where I see her interact with her kids. I mean, I see her cooking for her family, but so I can't really speak on that. You know, with like your question as far as like the tradwife on social media. But I would say, I mean, are you asking me from experience?
We'll get to that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll get to that.
Okay.
Do you think that these women on social media give proper representation of what stay-at-home moms and wives actually are?
No, I really don't. You know, they are, I mean, please show me, like, what do you do? Are you, I mean, to be makeup, fully dressed, you know, cooking in the morning and looking all nice. Like, I mean, but then again,
you waking up at like 5 o'clock, putting on that makeup, trying to look good for the husband.
But then again, I don't wear makeup like that. But I know a lot of women that will put that makeup every day and look nice, you know? I mean, so I see it possible. I do see it possible, you know, them getting ready. But when you have kids, man, like, I guess you got to just wake up, put that makeup and do what you got to do. So, I guess it is possible. It just seems very, for me, I'm trying to get those 30 minutes of sleep, okay? I don't care. If I could sleep another 30 minutes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, especially, like, you have infants. Infants are waking up throughout the night.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, maybe, you know, the husbands are helping and they don't show that.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Because.
But I think that's like kind of counterintuitive to what they're trying to show.
That
right?
they're the ones responsible for everything.
They're the ones responsible for everything in the house. Mm-hmm. You know, the man, he goes out and works, comes home and pays the bills, and it almost seems like that's it.
Yeah, I mean, when the girl was being interviewed, I mean, it was just like picture perfect. You know, there was like a pic, and some of the things that, and I'll admit, like before seeing that particular interview, you know, she did change my mind in many things, but there are certain things that I was just like, that's not realistic, especially depending on where you live. I mean, let's be real. You know, there's certain states that, I think he asked about finances. You know, so he was like, how do you guys do it? So what is your response to women that say, you know, it's unrealistic nowadays to have only one income coming in? So, you know, he asked her, like, what is your response to that? And, you know, she said, well, my husband and I are very strict in budgeting. And we're very, you know, we only spend what we have to. And we try to save and just stay within that budget. I was like, well, that's nice for them.
So then do you think that this whole tradwife thing, do you think it's unrealistic?
No, I don't think it's unrealistic. I think that it's possible depending on where you live again. And I will say this because they don't have kids. That particular person didn't have kids yet. And I'm just thinking.
So I think that's a big factor.
You know, she was talking about, you know, you're going to live within your means. I feel like you and I live within our means, but we have kids now. We have a female and a male. Like, they both want their own space and privacy. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's costly. We live in California. It's expensive. Having one income, is it possible for us?
So that okay. So I was really giving this some thought.
Okay.
I'm gonna disagree and say like it's possible, but it's not likely. And maybe that's just coming from like because we live in Southern California,
Exactly.
and you need to be like just balling to just have a decent life out here.
Right. And I would say this, I guess, and I do agree with her in the sense, like, if you want to live within your means, everybody has different goals in their lives, their relationships, and with their parenting styles. I mean, if you just want to stay home, then,
Right.
you know what I mean?
If you
just want to stay home and not be the type of family that would like to go out, experience, explore.
Right.
Yeah, you could go hiking. Because that's spend money, but I mean, come on, like
because money's so tight, you're not gonna have a lot of room for like entertainment, right? So you're probably not going on trips and things like that.
Gas is so expensive.
Gas is expensive, but then the guy's probably the only one driving typically, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, she's responsible for the kids, and the kids have to go to school.
I thought you said she didn't have kids.
No, I'm just saying if the kids are involved.
Okay.
But her in particular, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
She could just,
right.
Stay home and. So, okay, go ahead. Did you have a question?
Yeah. Well, no, I just wanted to kind of make another comment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think it's possible. But I think it's only possible for one person to work if you're maybe like you don't have a mortgage or you don't have to pay rent. Like maybe your home was inherited or something like that. Mm-hmm. Right.
And this is coming from us that we live in Southern California.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean.
But if it was just you and I and we were minimalist, then maybe we could do like a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom spot.
Yeah.
So that would make things a little bit easier. But
agree.
for a family of 4, everybody needs their own space. Well, it's not likely that, just one person can support all that.
Right.
And
unless you're making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
you're so think about this. Statistically, only 10% of men make 6 figures.
Wow,
right?
10%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 10%. So most people aren't going to have the luxury of, or most women aren't going to have the luxury of being a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife because some of them don't have kids.
Right. And I think that's the whole thing of it.
I'll take it just a little bit further. The average income for a man is less than $50,000.
Right. Right.
So $50,000 is not going to stretch far in Cali.
No, it's not.
No.
I mean, you're pushing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're definitely pushing it. And again, is it possible though? Yeah, it's possible, but you're just gonna have to, especially if you're not going out. I mean, you're not eating out, you're not going out. Yeah, you're like you said.
Yeah,
you're doing the least,
apartment or something, maybe 1 bedroom apartment.
But once the kids come, that's a totally different story. I mean, I've seen it. It's just a struggle though. It's struggling. It's not the same anymore. We're in different times than before. Men were being paid what they were supposed to get paid. And,
and shoot, even at $100,000, it's still hard to live out here in California.
It is still hard. It is still hard. And we have to pick and choose what we want to do, Yeah. I mean, but I think the whole argument is like, you know what? Is it wrong? Is it wrong for them to, speak out about what it is to be a tradwife, and there's nothing wrong with being a tradwife. Yeah, like I feel like that's fine. You know what I mean? If women want to do it, then and if it fits your lifestyle and your husband's okay with it, I'm fine with it. I am fine with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's a little unrealistic.
For us, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And honest, well, okay, so for us, and I'm not saying that it's because I want to be one, but if you do want to be
You
one,
sure about that?
don't start.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure about that. So it's I mean, we can talk about that. But yeah, I don't think that, you know, go ahead, show it. They might give tips for somebody that does want to be a tradwife and is currently working, you know.
That terminology is just throwing me off. I don't understand.
I know.
Like, why not just say
Like a homemaker, stay at home,
stay at home wife, stay at home mom.
It's
not trendy.
It
sounds better.
Like it's the current terminology. You know
Gosh,
what I mean?
man. That's like throwing me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it's sad because they are put into a box. You know, but if somebody says I'm a homemaker or, you know, I stay at home, like that's totally different. But I think it's because it's in our era. Like for us, we're just not used to hearing that.
Right.
And the whole topic is about these women. I mean, hey, technically they're kind of working. They're making money, you know, making these videos and being in social media.
Man, I was going to save that for later. But since you already touched on it, that's kind of one of the topics that a lot of these people are talking about is that these women are selling a false image. Some of these content creators, they have millions of subscribers, which means that they're getting paid.
They are getting paid.
And they're getting paid
and they're working.
Lots of money.
I mean, they're working. Technically,
so that's their job, right?
That's their job.
That's their job,
right?
I don't know the black girl's name, but somebody did some research on her. She not only has like 3 million subscribers, right?
Wow.
But her husband is also a millionaire.
Wow. And she's making more money out of it.
Yeah, and she's probably making millions too.
I mean, she's probably was already anyways gonna stay home. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Social media is so extreme. It's just very dramatic, very like, it to me, it's almost like you're just taking advantage. Like, hey, I'm staying at home. I'm not gonna work. Like for her, my husband's a millionaire. I don't want to work. I'm gonna stay home. Okay, kudos to you. You know, she's bored at home. What am I gonna do right now? I'm gonna make videos and let me make some itone. Like just doing this itself is so time consuming.
Right.
Being a parent is so time. You know what I mean? Like
you're absolutely right. But the reason I bring that up is for two reasons. One, that particular lady had the luxury to do it.
That's what I'm saying. She has the time.
No. She has the luxury because she doesn't have to work because her husband is able to cover everything and then some.
Exactly. She knew she wasn't gonna work.
Right.
You know, and
now you have, you know, some of these women, including herself, bringing in extra income from the advertisements and things like that.
But
getting paid through social media.
She's working. She's doing something and she's working and she's bringing in money.
Right.
So
don't say that you're not working then. Right. Because you are.
Because
you're making you're making videos every single day.
That's and you're taking your time.
And you're making money from it.
Yeah. I know. I totally agree with that. It's kind of contradicting.
So what type of image are they selling to these people that want to live that lifestyle, but don't have millionaire husbands and aren't going to be bringing in any income themselves?
I mean, I think in the sense it's it's a great topic that we are in a time where we as women want to say, hey, if you're not a boss, then you're not doing anything in your life. And that's not true. There's so many choices that we can make as females, and it's okay. So I do see some positive in it. Now, and I agree with you that social media, just like anything else, has to be traumatized. They have to capture the audience.
Right.
And even though people don't agree with this lifestyle, we watch it. And it's like, ooh, whoa, like we are making them money. Like they're getting paid for this. So I just as long as you're being mindful of it and don't be, what's the word? Like, don't be unrealistic. You know what I mean?
But so my thing is,
Well, but I'm talking about the audience, not them.
Right. People are going to be out here falling for that nonsense, though.
Well, shame on them.
People are out here thinking that they can live that lifestyle.
Man, Tony, look, we grew up in the hood. That is not realistic. Okay.
Yeah, we know it's not realistic.
So if somebody who has money and you come out of wealth, then it's realistic for them. But I mean, so I see what you're saying. Because unfortunately, a lot of this youth, whatever they see, like in social media, they want to be their gamers. They want to, I don't know, have a YouTube channel and they think they're going to blow up and not have an actual goal in life. Like that's, right. You're right. Like right. I see that. So as for females, you're right. Here's a little young girl, hey, I want to get married. I don't want to work. That's the lifestyle I want to have. I mean, wow. Because honestly, I would be kind of surprised because society actually tells us otherwise. You know what I mean? Tells us to be independent, tells us to go to school, have things for ourselves. So it's sad because you're getting pulled. Now we're this child is going to start getting pulled either way. It's pretty intense, man.
So I actually wanted to share a video and get your comments on it. And I actually haven't seen the whole video. Mm-hmm. It's a little long, so maybe we won't play the whole thing. But I'll go ahead and play it. This person used to be a stay-at-home wife, and I don't know if she has kids or not, but
she's a Mormon lady.
Oh, so you've seen it.
I'm not asking for sympathy. What I'm asking for is if you are a young 14, 16, 21-year-old girl, listen up. I drove to the grocery store. I need to grab some milk and bread and a couple things, flipped open the bank app on my phone, and I've been sitting in my car crying ever since because I never have enough money. And why do I never have enough money? Because when I was a 19-year-old girl, I fell in love. My Mormon faith told me that I was supposed to be a stay-at-home mom. I got married. I started having babies. I dropped out of college. I never had a career. My only jobs that I ever had in life were a waitress at the Olive Garden and managing a pretzel maker in a mall. Oh, my first couple years of marriage, I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I bought a windshield business. I was 20. And my Mormon stake president reminded me that women weren't supposed to work, so I quit my own business, handed it over to my husband, took my name off of it. I would work our family business throughout the next 24 years of my marriage, but I never got paid. I didn't have a salary. My name wasn't on it. I literally...
She's not the same lady, though, that I saw. This is another lady.
So I'm going to stop it right there.
I get the gist of it, though.
Yeah. So now that's interesting then if that's not the same lady.
It's not, but it was also, she was Mormon as well.
And so I did. Okay, so am I missing something? Are Mormon women not allowed to work?
They are allowed to work, but like she said, she wasn't getting paid. The money was going.
But she mentioned something about the Mormon in her. What'd she say? Something about the Mormon in her, mm-hmm. Or the religion or something like that. Maybe I misunderstood, but it seemed like she wasn't able to work.
To work.
And so what
And
she
if
so
she
what she
was
did
working, though,
was
but it was like a
she
family business, right?
yeah, so she had a family business, but it to me it looked like because of her religion, she dropped her name from the business and put her husband's name on it. And when you watch the video a little more, she actually started a second business with like windshields or something like that. And she dropped her name from that and put her husband's name on there.
Right.
Well, something happened with their relationship. I don't know if he left or whatever.
They separated.
Yeah, they separated. She didn't get anything.
I know. I mean, but
Nothing.
that's in any marriage, right? I mean, I'm not gonna say that's the risk. That's what going into a marriage, And if we've built things up, we get a divorce. Guess what? You lose some of it. Now in their situation, because there was
Well,
a
I
different.
don't know where they're from, but in California, everything's communal when you get married.
Right.
So,
Right. But so I cannot speak on this because I am not very familiar with the Mormon religion.
Right.
I have like, and I'm just gonna say, like, I grew up, having this image of the Mormon society being kind of very strict. I don't know, like again, I can't speak on it, but it's different because it's that's based on their religion.
right.
You know what I mean?
So I think okay.
it's being
Let's do this. Take Mormonism out of it.
right.
Right. What she's saying and what a lot of other women are saying.
So can I just say this, that in her, I'm just gonna say, like, in her culture, I guess, can you say, like, the Mormon culture, females are known to get married very young, right? And they are known to be homemakers, right?
Okay.
So it's for her, unfortunately, like, obviously her marriage didn't work, but that's like the norm for them. For anybody who grows up in that religion.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of unfair to kind of put it in the same category where someone who does have a choice of going to school and not going. I don't know. I see it very
I see what you're
different.
saying. So that's another reason why I'm saying, so let's take Mormonism out of it, because the reason I chose that video wasn't because of her religion, but because she was warning against being a stay-at-home wife or mom. And what I found was that there are a lot of women that are actually against this whole tradwives trend.
Right.
And they're saying, you need to protect yourself because you don't know what could happen. Your husband could leave you. Your husband could die, and you will be left in the street. One lady, she talked about how she stayed at home for 10 years and didn't, and I think then her husband ended up leaving her or something like that. And so she had 10 years where her resume was blank. And then she had to take a job where she still couldn't get everything paid for.
And that's why I was a strong believer in feminism. And that's where you and I disagree, because, now it's so extreme, unfortunately, that we've lost really the foundation of why feminism occurred. Because, because of situations like that, back then that happened. A man could leave, and guess what? We couldn't have an education, go back. You know what I mean? It was just harder for females to be in the workforce, like to actually be able to provide for their kids. Like, you're right. That is a risk. And I think that in our society, unfortunately, divorce is so high now. You know what I mean? So we are very prone to say, you don't know what's going to happen in our marriage, because there's that fear, or it's that, should I say fear or norm? You know what I mean? Of just saying, hey, if divorce is an option. But guess what? I have an education. If he leaves, then I'll be fine. I'll have something to fall on. Death, I speak that from experience. I think that for me, it wasn't so much also because I wanted to be this independent woman. I wanted to, because you were going to leave me. That wasn't in the back of my head. I lost my dad at a very young age, and I saw how it affected my mom. So,
Right.
that was a very big impact. So I can relate to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then again, if I don't want to work, then I don't have to work. But
So
at least
then,
I have something to fall behind.
so then what was different prior to like the early 1900s then? Because women didn't work.
Right. Women didn't work, but I guess I would like to see. Okay, so women did work. Okay, women did work, and you and I have had this discussion, and you guys can chime in on this. But I think we hear that so much, that women didn't work, of high society. Okay, lower society, it was very seldom that you would see a woman at home. Both female and male had to work in order to bring food on the table. And then get this, that's if the female found work, because she was a female. You know what I mean? They would hire a male before a female.
All right, I'll bite. What kind of work did these women do?
Maids, go work out in the field. And I'm just talking about, I'm an American, I'm a minority.
It sounds like you talk about slaves.
I'm talking about minority people. And even white people. Let's go to the East Coast. Let's talk about Irish people. Let's talk about Scottish people that were brought over here. And they were also, kind of to the point where, they were being worked to death. There's a lot of things in our history, man, that I'm taking into account. Okay? So, we can't close our eyes on that. I mean, I just have a very different perspective on the.
So, I'm just gonna say, just because some women work doesn't mean that it was the norm. So I want to talk about.
Right,
I want to talk about. Hold on.
Okay.
I want to talk about like the average household, not these rich people, not the people who were stuck in poverty, like the average household. Prior to the 1900s, did these women work? Maybe if you were dirt poor, maybe the women had to work. You just came over from Ireland, maybe the women had to work. Honestly, I really don't know myself, but these average households.
And then let's talk about the Great Depression. You had parents and moms giving up their kids because they couldn't even.
What did I say last time?
I'm sorry, man, but there's.
Shoot, man. I don't know. I'll give up them kids too, man. I ain't even.
Such a dork.
I don't blame them.
You're such a dork.
Man, they saw that as an opportunity.
Man, some people go very extreme. Some people, I don't know. I came from a household where many generations females have worked. It doesn't mean they were independent, because both parents had to work and make it. So
but then what about your great grandmother? What about your great great grandmother? Sure, maybe your grandmother worked, but how about her mom, her grandmother, and even back further?
So
were they working?
My great grandmother, that's a great question. For sure she was working because her husband was killed. Okay. But I don't know what she did. I never asked my grandma that I wish I would have, because that was in Mexico. So that's a great question. I don't know. And my great great grandmother, she was probably great because she was Spanish. So she was probably like, hey.
What does that even mean?
She probably didn't have to work.
See, so there you go.
Because she traveled over here, Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
She probably was like, all right. But again, it was status. You know, it was society status. Like, she was able to afford. And she was, I mean, the family was able to, like, for her to stay home. So I think it's just different. Like, status was very big back then.
Of course. I mean, it's still big today, too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean,
and you know, and I think that even, I don't know, I mean, like, when I would see minority women staying at home, they always had side hustles. They were bakers, they were seamstress, they would make things, and it was a side hustle. You know, even
let's ask Google.
Okay.
Let's ask Google.
What are we gonna ask?
Let's ask Google. Let's ask Google. On average, like, what percentage of women worked in, let's just go 1800s.
Okay. And you know, I don't know if I'm gonna trust Google neither.
Oh, now you ain't gonna trust Google.
I probably am not.
This says in 1840, 10% of women had jobs outside of the home, and by 1850, that number had increased to 15%. So most women stayed home in the 1800s.
You see, like, I don't want to make it culturally. But you think your ancestors in the 1800s, your female ancestors, were at home?
In the 1800s, they was probably out in the field.
What were they doing?
Picking cotton.
What is that?
That's not, I mean, is that work? They're not getting paid.
Well, that's how they were fed.
They were fed because they had to be fed. You got to keep your people alive.
They were working. So that's what I'm saying. It's very biased.
That's not work. They weren't free.
Okay, but they were working.
They were working, but they weren't free.
But they were working.
Were they given a wage? No, they were enslaved. That's totally different.
We're going a totally different topic though. But I guess my point of view is what? Okay, so the American
slavery
family
wasn't the average household either, right?
But you had way more slaves than actual owners. I mean, it wasn't until you're right, like the 1850s we were starting to have a lot of Europeans come more and more, you know what I mean? But you're right. But my point is that I think the way that you grow up is very different, can very, like, kind of change the way you think about being a homemaker. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't judge women who are very, kind of speak against it because they've had a different experience.
Yeah.
You know, now let's talk about the benefits of it. Yeah, there's a lot of benefits to being a stay-home wife or mom. You know, so when women talk against that, like, that's not right either. Because at the end of the day, it does benefit the family.
And so what do you think some of the benefits are?
What are some of the benefits?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as staying home without kids? Let me ask you that. Let me ask.
No.
Let me ask you that.
I asked you first.
Okay, but you have to answer. You have to answer my question afterwards.
Okay.
Though.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
So, I mean, as far as a stay-at-home wife, okay. I mean, your husband is taken care of. You know, he's pampered.
Here we go again. You did this last episode too.
What? What did I do?
Categorizing the husband with the kids.
No, I'm just saying there's no kids. I'm going step by step.
Okay.
So if it's just a wife without, not being a mom, but just strictly a wife, then I mean, it's nice. You know, you're taking care of your husband. You are cleaning the home.
How is taking care of the husband a benefit?
Well, I mean, if he's happy, then she gets what she wants. She's spoiled too, right? I would think
Okay.
it would be a two-way thing. You know, I take care of
Okay.
you, you buy me things, I'm happy, woohoo.
Okay.
I get to she gets to spend time with her friends if they're not working either.
Okay.
Stay fit, right? I mean, okay, that's all I got.
Wow. That's
No.
it. That's it, huh? And so what if kids are involved?
I mean, just providing that time to them makes a big difference than somebody else raising your kids. You know, they definitely mean it just it's an advantage for them, especially if you're a very involved parent, which I would think so if you're a stay-at-home mom. You know, you're probably teaching them at a very early age, like motor skills, everything like their ABCs, colors, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I've seen that. Like, we've seen it firsthand with our kids. We saw the difference and how it affects.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think that time is definitely irreplaceable.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
sure.
and just, again, if you're a very involved parent, you know, I'm not talking about being a tradwife and doing these videos meanwhile your kids are at home, because that really defeats the purpose. But you know, just being out in nature and exposing them to different things. I mean, yeah, that could, if you have the money, I guess.
Yeah, that too.
That too, you know. But no, it's just it's really crucial. I mean, we've seen it, you know, the first years of their life. So there's a lot of benefits from that. So what if what do you think? What if I would have said, "Hey, Tony, before we had kids, I just want to be a home wife and take care of you."
Shoot, say less. Shoot, you mean to tell me I get hot food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? The house is clean. Like, say less.
You get that already.
You're right. You know, I mean,
So that's what I'm saying. So
I do get hot lunch for work.
yes, you do every day.
Yeah, every single day. That's right. You do make lunch for me every single day.
Yep. Your clothes are clean.
Yeah, this is true.
You know, I do. I do clean the house every Friday.
Like once a week.
You know, I mean, everything's tidy up, but do cleaning once a week. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, but honestly, though, I mean, what would your thoughts have been if I said in our situation, how we were when we first, you know, we're about to get married, and take into consideration where we were at in life.
So, like way back then, that definitely would have been difficult. That would have been hard because I didn't have the income to support the both of us. So that definitely would have been difficult.
So you would have said no.
I'm not saying I would have said no. I'm just saying, you know, it would have been difficult. First of all, you know, obviously, like, where are we going to live? We probably would have been with one of our parents. You know, I don't know. That's the only way I see it working. That, or maybe like a studio apartment in like the middle of downtown San Bernardino or something.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah, but other than that, no, I don't think it would have been possible.
Right?
Yeah.
So are you okay?
Now, could we have worked towards like a better life with you staying at home and me working? I think so. And
I mean,
for a
we
moment,
did
that
it.
was our situation.
I was gonna say we did it for
Yeah.
almost 4 years.
Yeah, that was our situation for
You
a while.
know, yeah, we did it for 4 years. You know, did I like it? I didn't mind it. You know, I think for me it was more, our situation was a little bit different. You know, we didn't have family around. So it was literally just you, Elias, and I.
Right.
You know, so I think for me it was a little bit different because I was used to working already. I was used to being around friends, my family, and all of that was very different. So it was just you, him, and I. So I appreciate it, and I actually don't have any regrets being able to provide that time, even for Elias.
And I was gonna say that time that you were able to give Elias was just amazing. Like he excelled so much in elementary school.
Yeah. And that was because I was, you know, you saw like every day working with him and, you know, but I used my time. I tried to use my time and not waste my time, you know, and that was a perfect time for me to go back to school. You know, I was able to go back to school and actually focus on what I wanted to do. So, yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good, but I mean, it came a time when Elias started school, and that's where I was like, okay, like it was too much just to be at home. You know what I mean? And not do anything. Like, so that's another thing that I also think about being a trad wife. Like, once you have kids, once they grow up and they do their thing, like, you're back being by yourself meanwhile your husband is working.
Yeah.
But they're okay with that. That's the whole point. A trad wife is okay with that.
You're absolutely right. And I was just going to say, that's the lifestyle, though.
Right.
That's the lifestyle they chose. So,
yeah,
you know, they're okay with it.
And again, you know, if you're not okay with it, that's okay with it too. But don't be judging people. You know what I mean? I'm totally against that. Like, you know what if it makes you happy, makes you happy. I mean, and just because they didn't go to school, and you're right, and they might get a divorce later. She might have to struggle. It's okay. God will provide.
Yeah.
You know, God will provide. And I saw it with my mom. You know, my mom didn't have a school or an education. And she had to start from square one.
Yeah.
But God provided, and she got my brother and I through life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So, yeah, I mean, if it works for you, but so you're okay with it then? You're okay if the female stays home, even though there's no kids?
I don't disagree. That's the way. I feel like that was like God's plan, right? And there's a reason why for thousands of years, on average, women didn't work. Right. They stayed home. They took care of the home. They took care of the children. I just think that that's the way it's kind of meant to be. With both parents working, now that kind of puts the kids at a disadvantage, where now they're being raised by the government, you know, or
they're being exposed to things that you might not want them to be exposed to.
Right.
You know, so.
But
we were very fortunate, thank God. You know, we were very, very fortunate as far as like, we didn't need to put our kids in daycare. We had, our parents didn't help, like family helped, you know. Yeah. Brother helped. So, I mean, thank God.
And you know what too? I was thinking, just real quick, I was thinking like, I don't know if I could have done it today. Like inflation has just gone out of control. And I don't think I would have made enough money as a psych tech to support, let's just say like the three of us if Leilani wasn't in the picture. I don't know. I don't know if it could be done. Like it's so crazy now.
I mean, I would have think that by now they're getting paid more than when you were a psych tech, right?
I would think so, but is it that much more? Because what's happening is inflation is outpacing pay raises.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm just saying I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But no, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, well, that was the whole point. When we came back, we weren't able to save money, even with you being a side tech. So the whole point was like, hey, we're going to come back. We're going to move in with my mom to save some money.
Yeah.
Because otherwise
we wouldn't be able to.
and that is known to be a decent, job, right?
Yeah.
It is known to be decent, pay decent. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. Again, we go back to depends where you live, the United States.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, like that's kind of crazy. But yeah, I do agree with you. I mean, there was a reason why. I mean, we hold the house down, man.
Would you do it again?
What? Stay home?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, no. Like I would have to
because you're bougie.
No, this is the only way that I would do it. Like financially, if I knew that we were able to, cover everything, and I would do it for my kids. If my kids needed that extra help, like when we were talking about Leilani possibly being homeschooled, like I would do that for my kids. Because I want them to succeed. I want them, to have an opportunity. And if my daughter needs that extra help, I would do it.
Yeah.
Would it be hard? Yes. I love working. I love what I do. I love hustling. Like I like it.
How about trad dads?
That's a good one. And the woman works?
Yeah.
Okay. I've always said if that's their dynamic.
I don't know many, but I know of a couple. And
it works for them.
It works for them.
Right.
And I think that stay-at-home dads don't get enough credit.
No, for sure. I mean, is it taboo? Like, you know what I mean? Probably still.
It definitely is. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
They should be making videos.
And they should.
They should be out there making videos and be like, hey, like cooking. And I mean, they're doing the same thing.
Yep, they absolutely should.
So. Yeah. Are you getting ideas?
Hey, if you were balling, shoot. Maybe I'd try out being a trad dad.
That's what I was going to say. The female has to be balling.
Yeah.
They have to be making a good amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, if it works, man.
All right. Anything else?
No. That's interesting. But do what makes you happy.
Do whatever works for you. Don't fall into this lie though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't fall into this lie, this false perception of being able to stay at home, because it's not going to work for everybody. But if you can figure it out, hey, go for it. I don't have anything against it.
Right.
Whether you want to be a trad wife or a trad husband.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I enjoy seeing those videos.
It's entertaining for sure.
It is entertaining, and yeah. I mean, I still get ideas of like, hey, I could do probably, not staying at home. That's not my idea. But like, they're doing recipes or I just see it.
Okay, I want to see you make some homemade pasta from scratch.
I have.
When?
Well, it's not you're right. It's not technically pasta, but gnocchi. Like that's from scratch. The little potato balls and stuff. That was all from scratch.
Yeah, those potato balls.
No, well, because it has potato. You're talking about the fried potatoes. See, I am not meant to be a trad wife. You want to tell them the story of my fried potato balls? We weren't even married. We weren't even married. So
no, we weren't.
Yeah,
real quick because we're already
okay. So I had seen this recipe of fried potato balls, right? They look great. You do the mashed potato, you make them, you put flour so they can stick together, then you fry them. Hey, I did it. I made fried potato balls, so I thought, Guys, I couldn't even eat it myself. It was just
I don't know what that was.
I think we weren't even married. I was probably
No, we weren't married. I think
No.
I came over for dinner or something.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I was like 19 years old. I was
Where'd you get that recipe? Because that was before YouTube.
Hello Food Network.
So what? You wrote it down?
No, I would just see the Food Network and I would just
so
get
you just had it
ideas.
up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
the
why.
problem.
You're messed up, man.
Why didn't you record it on the VCR?
I don't know, but hey, a lot of my recipes, I just put it up there and be like, okay, let me remember.
Okay.
But it's easy now. Let me just YouTube it or, it's just so easy. But yeah, that was the first clue. Can't stay home.
You should never try that again. So anyway.
Just for that, man, I'm going to make them.
All right, guys. So that's episode 11. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.